Hello, Year 11. Okay, so some heroes revision. I know you are probably at home doing this, or maybe you are in the library, but let's crack on. So, the first couple of videos that I'm doing today are focusing on the themes in heroes, specifically for that summer exam, which is your heroes and inspector calls exam. And you can see that the themes that we're going to look at in the next couple of videos are heroes and anti-heroes. What is a hero? How does the book portray them? Evil and the confronting of evil, forgiveness, loneliness, and then appearance and reality, because that's the one that can pop up now and again. So let's just crack on. We'll crack on with heroism and heroes, and we'll go through it. So the first thing to think about is heroism in the novel. Think about how is it shown. Think about Larry. It's a difficult one. If you think about what he's done in the war, he is a hero. He saved that platoon. He fought for his country. He saved lives. He effectively won that battle, didn't he? He was given the Silver Star, a symbol of a hero and heroism. He helped those children in the rec center. Think about Francis when he was young. He gave that boy a life. He gave that boy confidence. But when you look further in the life and you find out what happened with Nicole, does that take away all of the heroism there? Can he still be a hero after that crime, even though the things that he did we would typically class as heroic? Francis, in the same way, he went to war. That is a heroic thing. He fought for his country. Heroic. He did dive on that grenade. Heroic. But then you have to take a step back and go, okay, well, what about the reasons he went to die? He jumped on that grenade to die. There was cowardice. All the time our perception of heroism is being challenged. And that's something to think about when you're looking at this essay question and you're looking at this theme in it. So, heroes. Remember, heroes, we think about the word bravery, patriotism. Patriotism is that love of country, that love of your people and your heritage. America, this is something that's very, very big. This idea of American patriotism, the eagle and the flag. And this is shown all the time in the novel. If you think about when they go to the cinema, the movie Tone News, the theatre, Nicole and Francis on their date, there's this huge uproar of applause and cheers and happiness when they see Larry on the screen, not just because it is Larry and the children there love him, but because it's this idea of he is there, he is doing this, we should be super proud of him. And there's cheers, there's applause, and there's this huge event of him having his Silver Star, and that's there. And a key quote there, I was impatient to reach the age when I could join them in that great crusade for freedom. That's Francis there as a young child, remembering that was my goal. They were heroes. They were who I wanted to see. They were who I wanted to be. That was the representation of success and heroism and bravery, was to go out and to be those soldiers, forgetting or perhaps not even realizing that it was deadly, it was scary, it was something that created men to do things that we would never expect. And then obviously when Larry returns home, remember that time when they're on the station, and he comes out and you can see it there, resplendent in his uniform. He's got ribbons and medals on his chest, and all of the children there and the men there are admiring him and worshipping him and are very, very excited to see Larry come home. And he's described as that stereotypical hero. He's handsome, he's brave, he's tall, he's got strong physique. It's really, really important to remember that. But remember also when he arrives on that train, remember how his description has changed, how he's lethal now, how his quickness is knife-like. This is somebody that after war, he became a hero, he's done these wonderful things, but when he comes back, he's changed slightly. You can argue, is it war that's done that? Is this just part of his character because we know what he's going to do? Is it just starting to come out into the public eye? But war has changed him. Can he be a hero? Can he be pure and wonderful and heroic after the things that he's done? And a key quote there: I could picture him storming a hillside in Guadalcanal, rifle in hand, bayonet fixed, grenades dangling from his belt, pumping bullets into the enemy. A real violent quote and a violent picture. But to Francis, that's the hero. And we could tie that into what we as the reader know. We know what he's done to Nicole, or what he's going to do to Nicole when we look back. And this picture of a very violent act of storming the hillside, pumping bullets. It's the picture of a man ready to do what he wants to do, and a man ready to fight. Think about Francis and Larry in terms of heroes and in terms of that idea of being a hero. And as I said at the beginning, they fit on both sides. They both have the silver star, so they must be heroes because it is that symbol of a hero. But they've both done non-heroic things, and we have to decide, where do we lie on that? Arthur Riviere, though, is a really, really good character. He is that ordinary hero, that hero that didn't have the silver star, that isn't glorified, that isn't admired and worshipped. He's just somebody who went out there, did heroic things, did his job, did what he needed to do, had that patriotism. And yet when he comes back, he's forgotten about. But he's the one that we perhaps remember the most. If you think about that scene where Francis finds him drunk outside, very poignant scene, a very emotional scene for Arthur and for the reader, because you see this man, this hero, who has done all these incredibly courageous things, and here he is. It was our war. We were scared, I was terrified, and you see this broken man, and it's a reminder that this idea of a war hero, of patriotism, of heroism, it comes with its cost. And we need to also remember there that, in terms of the war, those Germans that Francis shot, those young boys, apple-cheeked, young, they would have been heroes as well. And we have to their home and to their people. And we have to remember that this idea of hero surely relies on what side you were on. It's difficult. So respect for heroes during it. We've got Mrs. Bellander when she meets Francis for the first time. She softens. She calls him poor boy. Although there's that sympathy there, there's that respect there. Inside St. Jude's, utmost respect in the club. You've got all those men around. The bartender puts on a formal, dignified voice when he's talking about the book. And it's all there, in that book. Larry LaSalle and Francis as well. It's all there, ready to be used and ready to be, worshipped and respected. And the way they talk as well, cheersing with their drinks and, oh, you deserve a drink. That's all very much present there. Arthur Riviere, as I said, surprised when he finds out that Francis doesn't want to talk about his silver star, and says, you should tell everyone, you're a hero, you're a goddamn hero. But he agrees to remain silent because of that respect, although he disagrees with it. There's that respect because of what he's done, who he is. He's the hero. And obviously Larry LaSalle, that adulation, that worshipping of others. He's very happy to be that hero, isn't he? He enjoys it. You can see he plays the part very, very well there. And just a little key quote there to remember. I saw how young they were, boys with apple cheeks, too young to shave, like me. That's just a reminder there of the 2 German soldiers that Francis shot at war. But also that they were all very young. Francis was a very young boy, a child almost, when he went to war and did these things. Okay, so just to sort of begin to tie it up, the examiner's tip there. Remember, think about how the heroes in the novel don't often seem to see themselves as heroes. If you think of Francis, he constantly tells us, I'm not the hero they think I am. And Larry as well, when you get to that ending scene, he talks about, his difficulty at times, the loss of legs, he's not dancing anymore. I think there is a little bit of regret there, but I think that regret is more tailored to Nicole and other girls and things that he did. I mean, that's up to you and that's up to your personal reading, but I would suggest in terms of the examination that it's more that side. But Robert Cormier wants us to think about Larry LaSalle. Is he the anti-hero? Is he somebody who is brave and heroic and a patriot and attractive and wonderful, and yet underneath everything, this real, unattractive, horrible person who does these atrocities, these terrible things to people? Can we make him a hero? Because it's really difficult. If we take the rape of Nicole, we take the attack on her, a horrible, horrible crime. But we do have to take the other side of the scales and the things he did at war, the lives he saved, the people's lives he changed. How do we class him? It's that quote, isn't it? Does that one sin of mine wipe away all the good? Robert Cormier wants us to think about that. Okay. So very, very quickly, we'll just look at the anti-hero idea. And he had been a hero to us long before he went to war. That's something to remember, that for these children, for the people of Frenchtown, he wasn't just a hero of war. He was a hero anyway. He'd come to Frenchtown. He had changed these people's lives, Francis's in particular. He had become confident, bold, brave. He'd begun to love life. He'd found everything he wanted. And Larry LaSalle certainly becomes that father-like figure to him. So initially, like I said, Larry is this inspirational figure. He can do everything. He can woodwork, he can sing, he can dance, he can craft. He can do anything fabulously. He's got beautiful eyes, beautiful teeth, beautiful hair. His physique is of a dancer. That Fred Astaire walk and smile, it's all there. However, it's to point out that terms of anti-hero, think about that night when he comes back from war on furlough. He is literally the star. Here he is. Larry has arrived. What a hero. And it's that night that he does his most terrible crime that we see with Nicole. And I think it's in juxtaposition there, this, two opposite things together, that you've got this fabulous night of heroism and celebration and love, and right next to it, it ends on that such, broken unhappiness underneath it all. Francis, as we know, doesn't see himself as a hero. Obviously, all the way through, we're sort of teased with why, and we end up obviously understanding it's that hidden motive. He wanted to go and die, and he does it at certain times. So in chapter 1, Enrico calls him a hero, and he tells us, the reader, I'm not. Sister Mathilde and Nicole in chapters 15 and 16, not the hero they think I am. And Larry LaSalle as well in chapter 14. He actually voices it there. It's not just that inner monologue to the reader. He actually voices it there to Larry LaSalle. And he admits he was fake all along. But we have to step back, because there was courage there in what he did. There was heroism there in what he did, in going to challenge Larry, in going to try to get justice. And I think he did have every intention of killing Larry, but Larry's manipulative ways worked their magic. We know how manipulative he is, and in a future video we're going to look at Larry. We're going to really look at that manipulation. So finally, just a quick examiner's tip about heroism. Remember, it's throughout the whole book, and it is unclear. There is no definitive answer of who is or isn't a hero. Larry, Nicole, Enrico, Arthur, Francis, there is no definitive answer. The book wants us to keep questioning, wants us to go, oh yeah, but what about this? But I think one thing to point out is this little section here. Nowhere in the book does any character find comfort or happiness in their heroism. And I think that's true. Enrico, he's in agony, he's in pain. Larry, at the end, he's very regretful and sad, and he admitted to thinking about taking his own life. Francis is completely tormented with his guilt, with his decisions. Arthur too, is changed forever. and it has really affected him. So it's difficult. But you need to think about, is this a pessimistic book or a realistic book? Is this a book, a novel that's questioning our excuse me, is this a book that's questioning our ideas about heroism and whether we should just say, oh, there are no heroes? Or is this the realism of the situation? It's very difficult. So use this for your revision. If you have any questions, email me. Please do. If you go onto your school email and start typing Harrison, I should come up. Or you can go into the Google Classroom, and the code is in another video, and I'll email it out to you all. Send me questions. Give me some questions to answer. Let me educate, even when we're not in school. Okay. Remember, your exams are coming up fast, and you need to be ready. All right. Have a good one.